Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to talk about what do you do when one of these light bulbs is burned out and the other one still works. Now, a couple things you can do. One, you can just change the light bulb and hope that it takes care of the problem, and most of the time it will. But if you want to test it before you go ahead and replace the bulb, you could buy a tester such as this one right here, or you could buy another one. It's called a non-contact sensor, like something like this. It'll tell you if there's power in the outlet here. This will actually tell you, this type of a tester will tell you if you have power coming in and you also have a good connection going out. So this will check to make sure you have a good connection both in and out, where this one will tell you if you just have power coming in. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this screw right up in here. We're going to take this lens down, and then we're going to do the testing with this tester, and we'll see how it works out. Alright, so come along and let's get this finished. Under the sensor itself, you'll see there's a couple of different adjustments underneath here. You may want to just jot down or take a picture of where your settings are so you can return it to that point once you finish repairing it. When we're doing the testing, we're going to turn the light switch to the test position. After we test it and we know for sure everything is okay, then we're going to turn it to the off position before we start to work on it. Now, this is the problem we're having. One bulb is burned out while the other one is still in very good condition. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the Phillips head screw. Now, sometimes these can be pretty rusty, but most of the time they will come out. We'll just take the screw out, making sure you don't lose it, because if you lose it, you're going to need to get an exact replacement for it. So be careful you don't drop it. We're going to take the lens and pull it down. Just make sure that the glass does not fall out or come loose. If it does, then you may want to put a piece of tape over it just to keep it from falling out. Like I said, switch it to the test position now, which is what we're doing. Turn it to the test position. And you can see one is lit and one is not. So we're going to take the light bulb and we're going to push it to the one side. It's spring loaded, so when you push it, you'll feel it push the spring in, and you can pull it right out. We're going to grab our tester that we talked about. This one here is the regular, the less expensive tester. It tests for power in as well as power out. As you can see, the light is lit red. And when the light is lit, then we know that the power is coming in and out the way it's supposed to be. It's flowing perfectly, so we know the light bulb is burned out. Now, this is the other kind that we talked about. This is what's called a non-contact voltage tester. And what that will do is it'll tell you if there's voltage present at that electrical connector. So we're going to turn it on. We're going to come over to the electrical connector. When you touch it near power, it'll make that beeping noise, and when you take it away, it goes out. So we know that there is power in here, but like I said, we just don't know for sure if the power is flowing through, if there's not a broken wire on the other side. As you can see, this is the light bulb, and if you shake it a little bit, you'll see the filament rattles around in there, so we know that the filament has actually broken and it needs to be replaced. On your replacement bulb, you'll read the back of it because it tells you on there. It's very important. You don't want to touch it with your bare fingers, because the oils from your fingers getting on the light bulb will cause that light bulb to burn out prematurely. So my recommendation, put a pair of gloves on so that way you don't have that problem. All right, we'll take the bulb and we're going to put it back in the exact way that we took it out. But before we put it in, make sure you have the correct bulb. This one, as you can see, it says 150, and that's 150 watts, just so you know. And this is our packaging here, and as you can see, it's 150 watts. All right, now we're going to put the bulb in on the one side. We're just going to push it onto that little round piece right there, and it's, like I said, it's spring loaded, so when you pull it to the one side, you'll be able to maneuver the other side into position. And you just put it in there and shake it around a little bit so that you make sure you're perfectly set the way it's supposed to be. We're turning it back to the test position. And there you go. the light lights up just the way it's supposed to. Now at this point you do not want to touch that light bulb again because it is extremely hot. It'll definitely melt your fingerprints for sure. Alright, so we're going to turn it right back to the off position right now so we could put our lens cover back on. Okay, we're going to click it to that off position. Now we'll flip our lens back up to where it's supposed to be. And then we're going to grab our screw and we'll put the screw back in. Now sometimes it's a little difficult to do one-handed, so I'm going to try to do this the best I can. We're just going to push it in, grab our screw, put the screw into our Phillips head screwdriver. Now these do not have to be really tight. You would just snug them down so that the gasket that's on there is going to keep any moisture from getting inside of the lens itself. So we'll just screw it in until it's sufficiently tight. And then we'll come back underneath the bottom and we're going to turn our light back to our location of where it was before, but we're going to test it one more time. Turn it to the test position. And you see both lights light up just the way they're supposed to. Now we're going to go back underneath the bottom and we're going to click the adjustments back to where it previously was because that was the setting that we had it set to. So we're going to click it back over so that we can finish the job off. And now when it gets dark out, of course, the light will turn on just the way it's supposed to. So as you can see, replacing a light bulb is fairly easy, and testing it to make sure that the bulb is really bad is quite simple too when you have the right tool. These tools are actually fairly cheap. I do have them in my Amazon store down below. You can check them out if you want. This one is very, very inexpensive, where the other one is probably a little bit more money. But you check it out in my store down below and you'll see what they cost. But that's it. This job is done and we're on to the next one. Don't forget, hit the like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to see future videos that are being uploaded. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.